I'll send to Congress a reform to increase the exemption with the goal of doubling it from $3,500 to $7,000 for every dependent in every family in America. The tax laws of America should also promote and reward innovation because obviously innovation creates jobs. Tax laws shouldn't smother the ingenuity of our people with needless regulations and disincentives. So I'll propose and sign into law a reform agenda to permit the first year expensive new equipment and technology, to ban internet taxes permanently, to ban cell phone taxes, this one might appeal to this audience, to ban new cell phone taxes, and to make the tax credit for research and development permanent so that we never lose our competitive edge. It's not enough, however, to make these little fixes here and there in the tax code. What we need, what we have a compelling requirement for, is a simpler, flatter, and a fairer tax code. As President, I will propose an alternative tax system. An alternative tax system. When this reform is enacted, all who wish to be under the current system could still do so. And everyone else could choose a vastly less complicated system with 2 tax rates and a generous standard deduction, period. Americans don't resent paying their rightful share of taxes. What they do resent is being subjected to thousands of pages of needless and often irrational rules and demands from the IRS. We know from experience that no serious reform of the current tax code will come out of Congress. That's another little straight talk. So now it's time to turn the decision over to the people. We're going to create a new and simpler tax system and give the American people a choice. Better tax policy is just one part of a pro-growth agenda that includes smarter regulation, a leaner, more focused government, and among the many benefits to America, these reforms will help to create jobs, improve the investment climate, attract global investors, and strengthen the dollar. Strengthen the dollar. Also, Americans worry about stagnant wages, which are caused in part by the rising cost of health care. Each year, employers pay more and more for insurance, leaving less and less to pay their employees. As President, I will propose and relentlessly advocate changes that will bring down health care costs, make health care more affordable and accessible, and help individuals and families buy their health insurance with generous tax credits, and enable you to keep your insurance when you change jobs. I can't tell you the number of people that worry about when they change jobs and their ability to keep their health insurance. Many retired Americans face the terrible reality of deciding whether to buy food, pay rent, or buy their prescriptions, and their government should help them. But when we added the prescription drug benefit to Medicare, a new and incredibly costly entitlement, we included many people who are more than capable of purchasing their own medicine without assistance from taxpayers who struggle to purchase their own. People like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, don't need their prescriptions underwritten by taxpayers. Those who can afford to buy their own prescription drugs should be expected to do so. This reform alone will save billions of dollars that could be returned to taxpayers or put to better use. There's never been a problem Americans couldn't solve. We're the world's leaders. Leaders don't fear change, pine for the past, and dread the future. We make the future better than the past. We make the future. That's why I object. That's why I object when Senators Obama and Clinton and others preach the false virtues of economic isolationism. Senator Obama recently suggested that Americans are protectionists because they're bitter about being left behind in the global economy. Well, Maybe that's his excuse for embracing the false premises and promises of protectionism. Opening new markets for American goods and services is indispensable to our future prosperity. We can compete with anyone. We can compete with anyone. Senators Obama and Clinton think we should hide behind walls, bury our heads and industries in the sand, and hope we have enough left to live on while the world passes us by. But that's not good policy, and it's not good leadership. And the short-sightedness of these policies can be seen today in Congress's refusal to vote on the Colombian Free Trade Agreement. When new trading partners can sell in our market and companies can sell in theirs, the gains are great and they're lasting. The strength of the American economy offers a better life to every society we trade with, and the good comes back to us in many ways, in better jobs, higher prices, higher wages, and lower prices, my friends. Free trade can also give once troubled and impoverished nations a stake in the world economy and in their relations with America. In the case of Colombia, a friend, a crucial democratic ally. Its stability and economic vitality are more critical now as others in the region seek to turn Latin America away from democracy and away from our country. Trade serves all of these national interests and the interests of the American economy as well. And I call on the Congress once again to put this vital agreement to an up or down vote. I know that open markets don't automatically translate into a higher quality of life for every single American. Change is hard. While most of us gain, some industries, companies, and workers are left to struggle with very, very difficult choices, and government should help workers. They should help workers get the education and training they need for the new jobs that will be created by new businesses in this new century. Right now, we have more than a half a dozen programs that are supposed to help displaced workers and for those who are not working at all. We have an unemployment insurance program straight out of the 1950s. It was designed to assist workers through a few tough months during an economic downturn until their old jobs came back. That program has no relevance to the world we live in today. If I'm elected president, I'll work with Congress and the states to make job training and unemployment insurance what it should be, a swift plan from a job that's not coming back to a job that won't go away. We'll build a new system using the unemployment insurance taxes to build for each worker a buffer account against a sudden loss of income so that in times of need, they're not just told to fill out forms and take a number. And we'll draw on the great strengths of America's community colleges. They're community colleges, applying the funds from federal training accounts to give displaced workers of every age a fresh start with new skills and new opportunities. These reforms must wait on the next election. But to help our workers and our economy, we must also act in the here and now. And we must start with the subprime mortgage crisis, with the hundreds of thousands of citizens who played by the rules